Hello, everyone. This is Bruno with a new segment called 10 Minutes or Less with Bruno No BS, a very simple, casual interview. Today, I have the honor to speak with Chad, owner of Bone Dry Roofing, one of the biggest roofing contractors, very respectable company in Georgia. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, Bruno. Thanks for talking with me today.
Tell me, how long have you been in the roofing industry?
Whew. Well, I have owned our company since 2003, and prior to that, I worked for a commercial roofing company out of Savannah for several years. And prior to that, I had knocked around in the industry a little bit as a laborer, learning how to put roofs on. So let's see, if let's say that goes back to about 1995.
But
I
you
don't
look
even want to
very
say
young. What are you
this.
talking about, man? You look like you're in the 20s. It's
Man, I
impossible,
don't even
brother.
want to say out loud that it's been 25 years that I've had some kind of connection to this industry.
When did you realize roofing would be a career for you?
I probably realized it for the first time, Bruno, when I went out on my own in 2003. And the reason I say that is because I loved working in the industry, and life circumstance for me changed in 2002. Right at the end of 2002, my wife and I got engaged, and she actually lived in Athens, and that is what ultimately created the move for me from Savannah to Athens. And at that time, if I was going to get out of roofing, I mean, that would have really been the opportunity, to relocate and just go do something different if that's what I wanted to do. But I looked around and I was just like, there's absolutely nothing that I'd rather be doing, or at least nothing that I knew about that I'd rather be doing than roofing. It was and still is an industry that's never going to do away with itself, right? They're never going to invent a computer that can put a roof on. There's always going to be a need for what we do. And I looked around and just kind of realized at the time I was much younger, and I was like, man, every industry related thing that I ever go to, I'm 20 years younger than the people that are there. So I'm like, it's an aging industry with people getting out of it. And it just, A plus B plus C for me just kind of added up. And I was like, this is a great industry to go try and do it for myself. The likelihood of you making it through year one, and if you make it through year one, through the next three, I mean, the odds are so slim, but
You made it.
I'm pretty
You're a
stubborn.
successful story.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about Bone Dry Roofing and your job functions with the company?
I'm obviously the owner and the president. My job function and job responsibilities are totally different than what they were in day one and year one. I have a business partner, and he and I, we split time in the three markets that we're in. We have our office here in Athens. We have an office in St. Simons Island, Georgia, down on the coast of Georgia, and then we have an office in Charleston, South Carolina as well. My business partner, in our vernacular, is our integrator, and just sort of oversees and makes sure from an operational standpoint that we're firing in the right directions.
Right.
And I'm more the visionary. I spend my time today looking for large relationships, entertaining potentially other markets that we might want to be in. I'm pretty heavily involved in our insurance and safety stuff, but that's just because I've got a risk management and insurance degree, and I kind of have a passion for that stuff.
What do you see for the future of the industry, for the new generation coming up right now?
I tell you, it's a totally different industry. And I tell people this all the time. I mean, in the 25 years that I've been involved, this industry's changed more than it changed in the 125 years
I agree with you.
before. I mean, it is just, we've seen so much change in the time that I've been in this industry. Obviously, there's opportunity for anybody in this industry. I mean, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, there is just, whether it's with out in the field with technicians and installation and supervision, or if it's on the service side or residentially or commercially. I mean, there is just infinite opportunity in this industry. You know, I think some of the changes in the last 25 years have not necessarily been great, but at the same time, I understand a lot of the changes that we have seen are in response to trying to figure out how to make a labor-intensive industry less labor-intensive. With all that said, there is still labor issues in terms of communicating and educating the younger next generation. What does a career in roofing look like? We're so far behind some other construction trades like plumbing, electrical, mechanical that, you know, require education and licensing at a more, you know, institutional level.
Right.
You know, a lot of kids, they don't know what roofing is. They think roofing means doing something really high up in the air,
very dangerous.
Really steep slope, and it's hot outside, and none of those things sound fun. And, you know, when you get a chance to talk to kids and really talk to them about what a career in roofing and what the roofing industry really is, I think roofing has an incredibly compelling story. We just have to be, and I mean we collectively, all of us in the industry, have to be the ones out there driving that message, because nobody's
there's a lot of things behind the curtains too as well. You know, there's not only technologies right now, it's extremely involved with our industry, you know, and 10, 15 years ago, you didn't see much, you know. So I think that's one of the main things that could attract a young generation to be, you know, of technology. You know, if people now using Facebook, let's use Facebook. If people using Instagram, let's use Instagram. Just like the talk we were talking, you know, this week, you know, if people are using TikTok, let's go use TikTok, because, you know, that's a way for us to attract the new generation, my kids, your kids, you know. So that's the only way, because if we still continue thinking, you know, the old-fashioned way, look, for instance, all the hot mop, those things are gone. You know, back in the days, you see kettles everywhere, but now you barely see one. Very expensive, you know, a lot of liability, risk of fire, death. So there's a lot of things, you know, that people want to avoid, and that's the reason the new technologies are coming up every day, including single plies and coatings. Any messages out there for the people watching the videos, my followers, you know, people that follow Bone Dry Roofing?
You know, I think this year, maybe more than any other that I can remember, has you know, emphasized just how essential what we do is, you know, both literally and figuratively, but you know, as an essential business through a pandemic, and, you know, being able to continue to support families and the livelihood of the people that work here and depend on what we do day in and day out, and also being able to provide the essential service of roofing to our customers and to the relationships that we have and have created over the, you know, 18 years of being in business. You know, the service industries are a big part of what makes the economic engine go. The roofing industry is a wonderful industry to be a part of.
Why Bone Dry Roof? You have a dog? Is that what it is? You a dog lover?
No. So when the day that I started the business and had to fill out the paperwork for the Secretary of State's office to file our business information, you know, one of the very first questions is, you know, what is your company's name? And I had not thought about that at all. And the attorney who was helping me with the paperwork said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have an office-wide pool, and we're going to let everybody come up with a name for your roofing company, and whatever we decide in our law office is the best name, that's what you're going to use. And I was like, I don't know about that. But anyway, some paralegal came up with Bone Dry Roofing, and they all voted that was the best name, and that's what we ended up going with.
Thank you so much, Chad. It was a pleasure talking to you. Next time in Georgia, definitely I'm going to stop by, and lunch is on me, brother.
That sounds great, Bruno. Great talking to you.